Hey guys, today we continue our study of fractions, talking about multiplying and dividing. As usual, you do not need to watch the entire video. If you get comfortable with this quickly, which I think many of you will, feel free to pause, jot down problems, try them on your own, check your answers against mine. At the most, it's a 6.5-minute video. Here we go. So the key with multiplying and dividing fractions is you need to factor as much as possible, because once you've factored everything, you can cancel like factors top to bottom. So my saying with multiplying and dividing fractions is factor, 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 cancel, cancel, cancel. So here we go. 4y squared minus 9 is a difference of two perfect squares. It factors to 2y minus 3 and 2y plus 3. Now the rest of this problem is already in factored form. They're all monomials or a simple binomial. So I just copy the rest down, and then I start paying attention to things I can cancel out top to bottom. Certainly 2y minus 3 are like factors. 4 divides into 8 twice. Y takes out y squared and leaves 1 left over. So I gather everything that's not crossed out up top, and I have 2 times 2y plus 3. And on the bottom, I am left with 1y, or just y. And that's it. Lots of people will ask me if you need to distribute that 2 through. You absolutely do not. You can leave it in factored form. Also remember to always go back and check your denominators and note what breaks the fraction, what each value cannot equal. That is part of a complete answer. So you go and look at each factored denominator before they're canceled and note what makes them 0. Okay, number 2, we have lots of factoring to do, 3 different product sums. So again, I would copy this problem down and start factoring and practicing. You may or may not need to hear me. I'm not going to talk through the product sums. These are all pretty straightforward. Check your work against mine, cancel out like factors, look at all the denominators, note what x cannot equal. Notice that I write ones every time I cancel things out, because when you cancel top to bottom, you're getting a 1. Any number divided by itself is 1. Here my final answer is x minus 3 over x minus 4. And then I go back and look at all my denominators and note the values that make them 0. So x cannot equal 10, 8, 5, or 4 in this case. Now, division of fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. Dividing fractions, again, you multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. If you forget what reciprocal means, it means flip the fraction. So the numerator becomes the denominator becomes the numerator. A reciprocal is just a flipped fraction. So, continue factoring. Here we have some tougher product sums. So again, I'm going to do all the work off to the side to figure out my factors. Factor, flip the second fraction, cancel like terms, and gather the rest. As a side note, many of you were very good at factoring on the Friday quiz. For those of you still struggling a bit, I can certainly come up with extra factoring practice for you. And this chapter in and of itself really gets you practicing factoring, because you'll see, again, that fractions and factoring always go hand in hand. You factor everything first and then go from there. Alright, so you've done a ton of factoring, and now you get to do a lot of canceling, and you end up with 1 left on top, 1 on the bottom, which is just plain old 1. Don't forget to go back and look at all your denominators and note what n cannot equal. So here n cannot equal -1, 1/5, and positive or negative 2/3. That's it. Have a great night.